Good morning, class. Standard 9 and 10, Civics Chapter 5, in that the judiciary. Judiciary means a law, a court, to where you will get the justice. Now, today we'll talk about Supreme Court, High Court, and Subordinate Court. This lesson I already taken during the interactions on 31st July. So I'm going to explain this a little bit more. So carefully listen and get your answer in your mind. So judiciary. The judiciary is the third organ of the government. It provides a mechanism for the resolution of disputes. Though India is federation with the double set of governments, that is central government and state government, we have a single integrated judiciary interpreting both union and state. It interprets the law and maintains the supremacy of the constitutions. Supreme Court to maintain the constitutions. For any law making body doing wrong against the constitutions, then Supreme Court will intervene. Now, Indian judicial system, single unified, law for everyone from bottom to top, whether rich or poor, you are sitting in high office, high profile office. No, law for everyone, every citizen of this country, equal law to everybody, whether you are Christian and Hindu or Muslim or any other religions. No caste, nothing. Law will equal to everyone. Now, highest court of the appeal, that is Supreme Court. Supreme Court will decision or binding on all courts, can transfer the High Court judges, can call a case from the lower court to itself, can transfer cases from one High Court to another. Supreme Court has power. Suppose any person is not belongs to that particular state, you want to go to their own state. For example, those who are sitting at Chennai, they are settled down, that native is Bangalore, Karnataka. So you want to go to attend the court in Bangalore, Karnataka itself, then Supreme Court can give the transfer the case to the other High Court. Now, state level, that is High Court, that considers appeal from lower courts as the power to issue fundamental rights and related writs, deals with cases with the state jurisdictions, supervises and controls lower court, that is subordinate courts. Now, district level, that is called subordinate court, deal with local cases of the district, consider appeals regarding lower courts decisions, decide civil, revenue and serious criminal cases. Now, the Supreme Court composition. What is the Supreme Court compositions? How many judges are going to be there? The Parliament has the power to make laws regulating the constitutions, organization of the jurisdictions and powers of the Supreme Court. The number of judges can be increased as well as decreased by the Parliament. Originally, there was a provision in a constitution that there will be a Chief Justice and 7 other judges. At present, there are 30 judges and the Chief Justice of the India, total 31 judges. Qualifications for being a judge of Supreme Court: a person must have been a judge of the one High Court or more continuously for at least 5 years, or an advocate there for at least 10 years, a distinguished jurist in the opinion of the president. Now, appointment. Who will appoint the judges? The President of India will appoint at the consultation with the Supreme Court judge, the concerned High Court judges. The President appoint the judges of the Supreme Court in consultation with the Union Council of Ministers, the Prime Minister, the Chief Justice and other judges of the Supreme Court and the High Court. Normally, the senior-most judges appointed the Chief Justice. Now, tenure, that is the terms of how many years they can serve. No minimum age is prescribed for appointment as a judge of the Supreme Court, nor any fixed period of office. Once appointed, a judge of the Supreme Court he is to be soon and any one of the following situation other than death. On attaining the age of 65 years, on resigning his office by writing address to the President, on being removed by the President upon the address passed by the special majority of each House of Parliament. The only grounds upon which his removal may take place, provided proved misbehavior, incapacities. These two points, they can be removed from the office. Now, judicial independence refer to an environment where judges are free to make decision or pass judgment without any pressure from the government or other powerful entities. It is essential for maintaining purity of justice of social system and enabling the judges to earn public confidence in the administration of justice. The Constitution of India envisages an independent judiciary. Envisage means free. Implies three things. Supreme Court will judicial system. There are three things they will imply. First one, judiciary must be free from encroachment from other organs in its place, spare. Freedom of judgment. Decision of judiciary should not be influenced by either the executive or the legislature. Any decision making, any verdict delivered by the judges, that point cannot be discussed in Parliament. Now, the ways to ensure the independence of judiciary. First, we will talk about handsome remunerations subject to vote of legislature, that is salaries, judges of salaries. During the term of office, the salaries and allowances of the judges cannot be altered to their disadvantage except the grave financial emergency. Only during financial emergency, the judge's salary may reduce. The administrative expenses of the court are charged out of the consolidated fund of. In addition, they enjoy free residential accommodation and many other perks. A car, servant, house, telephone bill, electricity bill, water, everything will get free. Security of tenure. The judges of Supreme Court enjoy security of tenure. They may be removed from the office only through impeachment. They are not removable from office except by an order of the President, and that also only by the majority of total membership of each House of Parliament, and also by the majority of not less than 2/3 of the members of the House present and voting. If they want to bring any resolutions, it should be passed by 2/3 majority. If a resolution not passed with a 2/3 majority, then the impeachment procedure will not happen. That will be dropped. lengthy tenure. Although the Constitution does not provide for life tenure, the existing provision of 65 years in effect amount of nearly the same. A retiring age of 65 is by Indian standards very high considering the average span of life in India, also the average fitness of persons for work in old age. Longevity of tenure keeps him immune from temptation to amass fortunes for the old age. No practice after retirement. The retired judge of Supreme Court is prohibited from practicing law in any of the court of the authority within the territory of India. The Constitution, however, permits the appointment of retired judges for a specialized form of work by the government, for instance, for conducting inquiries and special investigations. It is normally called ad hoc judges, like a Lokata judges. Any inquiry want to conduct, the retired judges can be appointed as an inquiry officer. A power to make rules to regulate their procedure. The Supreme Court is equipped with the full powers to make rules for regulating its practice and produce procedure and to take effective steps for the enforcement of its decrees and orders. Control over establishment. The court is fully authorized to have its own establishment with complete control over it. Denial of political office before or after retirement. The judges are not allowed to hold political office after retirement, otherwise they will have the temptation of creating ground of becoming the political leaders or gaining some other lucrative office during their tenure as judges. Now, immunities. What are the excuses? Favors. The action or decision of judges in their official capacity are immune from discussion and criticism by the legislature and executive. Nobody can criticize about the judgment of the judges. In the executive also in the legislatures, that is in parliaments or state legislatures. In order to maintain the dignity of the court and to protect it from malicious criticism, the court has been empowered to initiate contempt proceedings and take appropriate action against any alleged offender. So anyone talking about the court or any judges, the court will take action, contempt of the court. That action will be taken. Now, appointment by the executive. Independent of judiciary, to a great extent depends on the method of appointment of judges. Every judges of the Supreme Court is appointed by the President after consultation with of these judges of the Supreme Court and the High Court of the state, as the President may deem necessary for that purpose. In the appointment of judges other than the Chief Justice, the President must consult the Chief Justice of India. Next, jurisdictions of the Supreme Court. What are the limits for them? Original jurisdictions, appellate jurisdictions, advisory jurisdictions. Now first we'll see original jurisdiction. What is the original jurisdictions? The original jurisdictions means the authority to hear and determine a case in the first instance. The Supreme Court has executive jurisdiction to hear case which cannot be heard or determined by any other court. The Constitution vests the Supreme Court with original and exclusive jurisdictions in any dispute between the Union government and the one or more states, between the Union government and any state or state on one side and one or more states on the other side, other state, or of the legal right depends. The 42nd Amendment in the Constitution allows the Supreme Court to determine the constitutional validity of the Union laws. The enforcement of fundamental rights also comes under the special jurisdiction of Supreme Court. Apart from this, the dispute regarding the election of the President and Vice President can also be referred to the Supreme Court. Now I'll come to the appellate jurisdictions. As a court of appeal, the Supreme Court is the final appellate tribunal of the land. So even army also they having separate court. Even if any army officer dismissed, any Jawan dismissed from the army, court martial or general court martial, summary court martial, they can approach the court. But whatever this is, civilian cannot enter the army tribunal. Like IAS officers, IPS officers, tribunal, government employees tribunal is there. If they are not agree with that, then they'll go to Supreme Court, they'll ask their fundamental rights. There can be two types of cases. Criminal cases, in which some criminal activities are involved, such as can some of the Supreme Court without a certificate, especially certificate, they'll issue the certificate from High Court. Any case is not pending in the High Court, that verdict is not delivered, the person can obtain certificate from the case to appeal to the Supreme Court. If court is delivered verdict and against the victim or something, the victim can approach the Supreme Court and get special leave of applications. If High Court has changed the order of acquittal of the Session Court and given the order of death, if the High Court has withdrawn a case from a lower court and itself given a death sentence, with a certificate from High Court, an appeal can come to Supreme Court when the High Court certifies that case is fit to be heard in Supreme Court. The Supreme Court itself can grant special leave to appeal against the judgment of a court when the concerned body has not been able to get certificate from the court. This may be in the connection with criminal or even cases related to income tax. This appeal is not granted with respect to any order passed by the armed forces. Just now I told you. Civil cases, in which there may be a dispute regarding property, etc., with a certificate from High Court stating that the case involves a substantial question of law and it was to be decided by the Supreme Court, or with a certificate that case need to be finally decided by the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court can revert or change the decision of the lower courts. Now I'll come to the advisory jurisdictions. The President may make a reference to the Supreme Court for its opinion for any question of law, a fact which is of public importance, but the opinion of Supreme Court is not binding on the President, as it is not of the nature of the judicial pronouncement. It is also not obligatory on Supreme Court to give its opinion. Whether President may agree or not, Supreme Court cannot express their feelings. He may expect, President may accept the advisory or may reject. Now next, the functions of the Supreme Court. First we'll see interpretation of law. The primary function of the judiciary is to intercept laws and apply them into specific cases that come before it. It applies the principles of custom, statutes, and written constitutions to the specific cases. It determines the facts of the case brought before it, how the legal rights of parties to the case are affected, and what law is applicable. Where the law is different, it applies principles of justice, equity, and morality. Now, judicial review. This is also important. Judicial review refers to power of the Supreme Judiciary to interpret the constitutions and to declare any such law or order of the legislature and executive void if it is find them in conflict with the Constitution of India. As I told you earlier, if any lawmaking body or executives against the Constitution, out of the Constitution making law, if Supreme Court intervene, that law will be void, null, it is invaluable. The judicial review is power of judiciary by which court reviews the laws and rules of the legislature and executive in case that comes before them, determine the constitutional validity of the laws and rules of the government, reject that law or any its part which is found to be unconstitutional or against the constitutions. These are judicial review. Now, legislative functions. The judges not only interpret and apply law but also expand and make law. The court thus find exact meaning of the law, expand its details, and apply general principles of justice and morality. Now, advisory functions. The court also give opinion when requested to do so by the executive or by the legislature. Next, administrative function. The Supreme Court is empowered to appoint its local officials and subordinate staff. Now, court of record. The Supreme Court of India Act as a court of record. The judgments, procedures, evidences, etc. are recorded for future reference and testimony. Now, custodian of the constitutions. This is the most important. The judiciary act as guardian of the constitution in a federal government. The constitution in a federation, it is supreme law of the land. The judiciary protect its spirit and character. As guardian of the constitution, the Supreme Court can check the constitutional validity of law and ordinances. By the power of judicial review, the Supreme Court can declare them null and void if they are found to be not in accordance with the constitutions. The Supreme Court has the power to interpret the Constitution. Its interpretation is final and binding on all concerned. Now, miscellaneous functions, extra work. Judiciary performs miscellaneous functions like the granting of probate and appointment of receivers, guardians, and trustees, adjudications, arbitration, arbitrations, and conciliations. They act as a court of record, inquiry and investigations. They may grant licenses, choose to appoint clerical and appoint functionaries, etc. In our country, the higher judiciary also decide the election petitions. This is the functions, extra function, miscellaneous functions. Now we will come to the conclusion of Supreme Court: enforcement of fundamental rights and writs. First one, under Article 32, the Supreme Court is made the guarantor, grantor and protector of the fundamental rights. Any individual whose right are restricted or curbed can approach the Supreme Court. It can hear cases about the encroachment of fundamental rights. It can pass following writs to enforce fundamental rights. Now, habeas corpus, the first petition. A writ requiring a person under arrest to be brought before the judge or to the court, especially to secure persons' release unless lawful grounds are shown for their detention. Now, quo warranto, this is issued to stop an unqualified person from holding public office. Now, for abbreviations, a writ what is passed to stop a lower court from overstepping its jurisdictions. Now, certiorari, this is a remedial order passed when the Supreme Court finds that a lower court that has overstepped its jurisdictions. Mandamus, the judicial writ issued as a command to an inferior court or ordering a person to perform a public or statutory duties. So these are Supreme Courts do the work. Same as High Court also same manner will functions. So High Court same function. High Court is what Supreme Court is. Supreme Court is highest court in this country, but under the Supreme Court, High Court will control the rest of the court, subordinate court. Now, High Court or highest grade of the judicial system in the state. Article 214 says that every state has a High Court operating within the territorial jurisdictions, but the Parliament has the power to establish a common High Court for two or more states. Article 231, Punjab and Haryana have a common High Court. Similarly, there is one High Court for the states of Assam, Nagaland, Manipur, Tripura and Meghalaya. In India, the state executive and legislative has no control over the High Court. In case of union territories, the Parliament may by law extend or exclude the jurisdiction of a High Court to the union territories or create a High Court for a union territories. Now only the India having union territory High Court, that is Delhi High Court. The only court is there in capital Delhi state, union territories. For example, Delhi, a union territory, has a separate High Court of its own, while the Madras High Court has jurisdiction over Pondicherry and the Kerala High Court over Lakshadweep. There are 24 High Courts in India. Previous it was 21. Now it was the branches have started. Even Tamil Nadu have Madras High Court branch in Madurai is there. Now composition of High Court. High Court shall consist of a Chief Justice and such other judges as the President of India may from time to time appoint. Besides, the President has the power to appoint additional judges to High Court for a temporary period not exceeding 2 years for the clearance of arrears. An acting judge also can be appointed when the permanent judges of the High Court is temporarily absent or unable to perform his duties. An additional judge of acting judge cannot be hold office behind age of 65 years. The qualification of the High Court judges. That means additional judges should be beyond the age of 62 years, not above 65 years, above 62 years. Because the High Court tenure is 65 years age. But special appointment means he has to be not exceeding 62 years. An additional judge, that is 62 ages. Now, qualification for the High Court judges. He should be a citizen of India. He should have been advocate or one or more High Court in India or judge in any court in India for 10 years. Appointment of Judge of High Court. The Chief Justice of High Court is appointed by the President of India in consultation with Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. The other judges are appointed by the will of President, Governor and the Chief Justice of the High Court. Judges of High Court are administered the oath of the office by the state governor. A High Court judge can be transferred from one state to another state after consulting at least 4 senior judges and the Chief Justice of the state along with the consent of the concerned judge. Now, tenure of the High Court judges. The judges of High Court shall hold office until age of 65 years. Every judge, permanent, additional or acting, may vacate his office earlier because of the following reasons: by resignation in writing addressed to the President, by being appointed Judge of the Supreme Court or being transferred to any other High Court by the President. A Judge of High Court may be removed like a Judges of Supreme Court. A Judges of High Court may be removed by the President if the Parliament passes the motion against him and absolute majority of 2/3 majority of members present and voting by the both Parliament houses. Now, High Court's jurisdiction and function of the High Courts. Original jurisdiction. Every High Court is empowered to issue writs orders, directions including writs in the nature of habeas corpus, mandamus, probations, quo warranto and certiorari, or any of them, any reason, any person or authority within the territory of the enforcement of the fundamental rights and for any other purpose. The original jurisdiction is High Court extend to the matters of admiralty, matrimonial, contempt of the court, and cases ordered to be transferred to the High Court by the lower court. Now, appellate jurisdictions. The High Court can hear appeal in civil cases which are decided by the subordinate court, appeals in criminal cases in which accused has been sentenced to 4 years imprisonment by the session judge, the cases involving interpretation of the constitution of law, the cases of income tax, sale tax, etc. The death sentence awarded by session judge is subject to approval by the High Court. Power of judicial review. The High Court has power to strike down any law of state legislature or any order of the executive if it is violates any provision of the constitution or curtails or takes any of the fundamental rights of the people. Revisory functions, jurisdictions. The High Court can ask the record of the cases and even transfer to itself case when it is feel the subordinate court does not have jurisdiction to hear it, or if the case involves the substantial question of law. The High Courts can intervene in case of gross injustice or non-exercise of abuse of jurisdictions, even though no appeal or revision against the orders of such a tribunal was otherwise available. Administrative and supervisory power. The state High Court perform many administrative functions within its territorial jurisdictions. The High Courts are empowered to appoint its local officials and subordinate staff. It exercises the power of superintendence and control over all courts and tribunals throughout the territory except the military tribunals. Enforcement of fundamental rights. The Constitution empowers every High Court throughout the territories to issue any person or authority, including in appropriate cases, any government within those territories, directions, order, or writs, habeas corpus, mandamus, propositions, quo warranto, certiorari, for the enforcement of any of fundamental rights and for any other purpose. Under Article 32, the High Court are vested with the power of enforce fundamental rights as part of their original jurisdictions. Now, court of record, as I told you, Supreme Court of record as evidence, they can take a reference. The High Court is a court of record and has all power to such a court, including the power to punish for contempt of itself. Neither the Supreme Court nor legislature can deprive a High Court of its power of punishing contempt of itself. The records of such a court are admitted to be of evidentiary value and that they cannot be questioned when produced before any court. All the judgments of High Court are kept as a record for future reference. Now I will come to conclusions. The subordinate court duties. What is the subordinate courts? Under the High Court, there is a hierarchy of the court which referred to in the Indian Constitution as subordinate court. All courts below the High Court in a state are called subordinate court. The state is divided into district and each district has a district court within the appellant jurisdictions in the district. The district court are the court for every district, one or more district together, depending upon the area, populations and the number of cases. The High Court of the state enjoys administrative control over the subordinate court, that is called district courts. The decisions taken by the district court are subject to appellate jurisdictions of the High Court. Now, type of subordinate courts: civil courts, revenue courts, criminal courts. Now we'll talk about the civil courts. What are the cases they will take? The court of the district judge is the highest civil court in the district. Under them are the courts of the first class judge or the subordinate civil judge, the court of the munship or sub judge. This is graded system with the lowest court handling cases involving low values which are fixed by the state from time to time. Appeals also follow the same graded system, finally reaching up to the district court and then the High Court. The district judge deals with the civil cases. Now, revenue court. Revenue court normally is IAS officer, the IAS district collector will be a revenue officer. They deal with assessment, collection, and keeping the land records pertaining to land revenue and property tax. Now, criminal courts. The highest criminal court of the district is the session judge court, presided by the session judge. This is the highest judge in the district, session judge, normally called session court. The session judge can try cases about robbery, dacoity, and even murder. The session judge has authority to award death punishment, though this must be confirmed by the High Court. Below the session court, these are the graded system of judiciary covering criminal cases. A first-class judicial magistrate can award punishment of imprisonment up to 3 years or a fine of 5,000 or both. A second-class judicial magistrate can impose a fine up to 1,000 or imprisonment up to 1 year or both. Apart from this, Supreme Court, High Court, Subordinate Court, there is a Lok Adalat. Lok Adalat means people court. This is not relating to the government matters. Separately they will make needy people. Lok Adalat, people court. The case is not in the court, because nowadays the cases, so many cases are pending in the High Court or Supreme Court, subordinate case. Day to day cases are increasing. So silly matter also they'll go to court. Property dispute, any family dispute. In this, to divide this court, the case is not in the court. That case can go to the Lok Adalat. They will make a counseling of the both the parties and compromise. But only this work without any fees, without any judges. This is the council expert are sitting over there. They will deal with these matters. What are these? Lok Adalat is one of the alternative dispute redressal mechanism where the dispute case is pending in the court of law or at the free litigation stage or settled, compromised between the parties concerned. It can also called as a people's court. The Lok Adalats have been given statutory status under the Legal Services Authorities Act 1987. At the same time, if the parties consent are not satisfied with the award of the Lok Adalat, they may appeal against such a award, settlement, compromise. The People's Court tried to bring around settlement through negotiation and compromises. The concerned people are encouraged to speak cordially and arrive at solution without bitterness. The judges explain legal points in a cordial atmosphere so that the outcomes is arrived at without bitterness. The first Lok Adalat was held in Delhi in October 1985. So what are the advantages of Lok Adalat? It brings the parties to compromise or settlement and gives legal sanctity to the settlement. It allows transfer any compoundable matter or other proceedings pending before any court constituted under law. The legal sanctity is binding on both parties' consent. It provides the alternative to the mainstream legal system. No court fees payable when the matter is filed in the Lok Adalat. It provides immediate redressal and speedy disposal of conflicts. It is an attempt to bring justice to the doorstep of those who are in need. It generates awareness among the public regarding conciliatory mode of dispute settlement and legal sanctity of Lok Adalat. It encourages public to settle there outside the formal setup. It empowers public to participate in justice delivery system. This is a much cheaper and faster method to arrive at the solution, and as much such also promotes social justice. This method involving the spirit of compromise arrives as at a result without bitterness. This is very helpful for the law court. Also, it is clear many pending cases and relieves the courts of the burden of packing backlog, that is court burden reduced by the Lok Adalat. So this is the Indian judiciary system. Good morning class, stay safe, stay home.